Darryn Peterson, the Kansas Jayhawk. He's a freshman. He was projected before the season started, one of the most highly sought-after high school players. He's been projected in a lot of mock NBA drafts to be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft this summer.
Right.
Comes in there with massive expectations. Bill Self has won national championships, one of the best coaches in college basketball, raved about him.
Yep.
I was talking to a reporter out from Kansas, said he used to reference Darryn Peterson last year in the season, saying, I can't wait to get this kid on campus.
Totally.
Well, the season hasn't gone as expected for Darryn Peterson. It's been plagued by injuries. Yeah, I see you using the air quotes because there have been some rather sus injuries that we're talking about. He's had the ones that, and none of them are like, you don't hear, and I never want to hear this, but you don't hear ACL, you don't hear shoulder separation, you don't hear like they're soft tissue or even worse. Cramping has been a reason he has missed multiple games due to cramps. That was the first major red flag for me, because if you're at a program like Kansas and they realize, they see one time you have cramps, guess what they're doing? They are pumping you full of IVs. Yes. They are pumping you full of electrolytes. They are making sure that it is not a problem. And yet they couldn't solve that problem. And his minutes were being restricted. He was only playing about 15 minutes a game early. And they're like, we got to figure out the cramping. Then he has an ankle and he misses a couple games due to that. And then he has a little case of the flu. And he misses that game despite going out for warm-ups. He was on the court. He told Bill Self, I can't go. He doesn't go. And then probably one of the more polarizing moments was they were playing Oklahoma State. He's playing really good. He has 19, I think, in the first half, hits a 3 in the second half, early 3 minutes in, looks over at Bill Self and gives him a little, I'm done. Yeah, I'm out. Bill Self pulls him, takes him out of the game. And then all of a sudden it starts like, then everyone's starting to talk about it. Like, all right, what are we doing here? Right. What is going on at Kansas? When you've watched this unfold, what has been your reaction?
Well, a couple things. I think the first thing and the most important thing is I think we have to do something about that. Why do these guys why can't they go to the league right away? Right?
It's an easy solution.
It sucks for the guys who think that they're ready to make the jump and they fail. But that's where you got to surround yourself with people and a good circle and a good agent that's going to tell you the truth. Because we've seen guys in the past who thought they were going to have bright futures and they go to the league never to be heard from again. But that's why stuff like this happened. And it's because Darryn Peterson is a dog. He's an absolute killer out there, right? He's better than everybody else on the court when he's out there, but it's become to the point where he's sort of like bigger than Kansas. And he, like you said, he's making the decisions. When I'm ready to come out, I come out. And that's what I think a lot of people feel. Well, my big question now is, if you're an NFL, an NBA GM or an NBA team, how do you go about evaluating a kid like this? Obviously, he's the best player, but we've seen it now where you get the impression that these players have no desire to play. They're going to make $50 million a year and play 50 games a year of 82. How do you go in? And this is something we've spoken about a little bit. At the NFL Combine, you have 3 days where you're getting picked apart, prodded, and interviewed like crazy. The NBA, I don't think, has a process like that where these players can really get interrogated like this. What are you thinking if you're an NBA GM? Like, best talent, unquestionably. Can I trust them?
Absolutely not. You can't. Now, I think there's a major difference in college basketball today in 2026 versus 2020 or 2016. Because Darryn Peterson's making $3 million. Like, before, you could understand, he doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to ruin the financial windfall that he's going to get as a lottery pick. And everybody would have defended him. Be like, yeah, I get it. Let him load manage. Let him protect himself for the NBA. Mm-hmm. He is a professional athlete. Yes, whether we want to call him that or not, he is. He's making $3 million. And for me, if I'm an NBA team, granted, there's a lot more money at stake. But to me, he's sending a very clear message that he's worried about himself more than the Kansas basketball team. Right. And he's worth more than his teammates. And so he's going to protect himself more than the program. What is going to change when he goes to an NBA franchise? And especially what is going to change if he's in a contract here, or he's coming up and it's that time when you've got to decide, maybe he's averaging, 18 to whatever his averages are. And he's like, oh, I've got mine. Yeah. I'm not going to risk injury. Oh, we're on the playoff bubble. I got to get mine. Because Kansas could win the national championship with Darryn Peterson. Yeah. I don't think he cares about that. Yes. And that's what his and maybe he changes and he turns it on. And I think that's the best outcome. And Bill Self even said that. A way to quiet the noise? Go out there and play. That's it. Like, show us what you can do. And so I'll be very curious to see how this finishes. And if I'm an NBA executive, I am watching how he responds to the criticism, how he responds late in the season. Does he put it all on the line? Because you've got several other players. He's not the only great player. AJ Dubois at BYU,
Stud.
leading the country in scoring as a freshman, played 40 minutes the other night.
Yep.
You know, they lost Richie Saunders, another one of their great players, and he's out there still putting it on the line. Darius Acuff at Arkansas had 49 points, freshman record in the history of college basketball. John Calipari said the week leading in the game, for 2 days he was on a walking boot, and yet he's out there trying to elevate his team.
Yeah.
I would rather have those guys. Cameron Boozer at Duke has been awesome, got NBA bloodlines with his dad. Totally. I'd rather have him. I would look at this and I wouldn't touch him. That's just me. But I get it. Like, you could miss on a generational talent because everybody that's watched him has said, man, when he's on, he's the best. You got to take him. But I think I'd rather have somebody that very clearly has better intangibles and has more of a desire to be great and more of a team player than somebody who kind of is sending a message that they're more about themselves than the team.
Yeah, and I think it's made no better, especially right now in this day and age, by the NBA and those players almost giving the same feel. Like, it's not like you're going to go into the NBA and things are going to change because the guys in the NBA are setting the tone and they're playing 75, 80, 82 games. That doesn't happen. We've seen first round can't miss picks before, like a Ben Simmons, for example, who you thought was going to come in and he couldn't miss, right? Ben Simmons is a 6'10" point guard. He could do anything he wants. He could pass it. He could score the basketball. He could defend. And Ben Simmons, now the first thing I think about is kid hates playing basketball. Made his money, has no desire to get in the game. You look at the league right now, guys like Jokic, Devin Booker, Wemby, Luka, SGA, Ant, all right on the cusp of losing the ability to win postseason awards because they're not even going to make it 65 games. Steph's already past it, not going to do it. LeBron's not going to do it. Giannis isn't going to do it. These are all guys that are not even eligible for postseason awards because they're playing 65 of 82 games or less. And they're making $55 million a year.
It drives me nuts.
So it is a tough. There it is. It's on the screen. Great job, guys, in the back. But it is so hard. Like, it's
you know what I don't think they care about? The NBA awards. Some of them might have bonuses in there, and that's how I would structure their contracts if I was the franchises. But even if they do have bonuses, they're so small compared to their salaries. Players like, I don't care. I don't care if I get an MVP or if I get a Defensive Player of the Year or whatever the award is. I don't think they care about the personal awards. No one talks about them. They talk about championships like we talk about legacies.
Right.
Sure, it comes into play somewhat. And these guys don't care about the regular season.
Yeah, it's a really, really bad look for the NBA altogether over the last couple of weeks because now we got that deal with tanking. I mean, tanking's becoming a huge thing where teams are putting out G League teams to try to literally lose games to pick guys. And
good luck, you'll get a Darryn Peterson. And then he'll come in and he's even going to play for
Well, that's why guys who sometimes come off a little nuts, but a guy like Charles Barkley had a great. They asked him about tanking, and he was like, because as crazy as Charles Barkley is, he really does have his finger on the pulse of a lot of things. Charles Barkley's thoughts on this, I don't know if we can pull it up quick, is he said he has three things. He thinks, A, if you finish under 500, your team should not be allowed to raise ticket prices next year. Very cool. That might force you guys to try hard. He thinks every team that's in the playoff, that's in the lottery that doesn't make the playoffs gets equal number of ping pong balls, one ball. Because only twice has the team with the most ping pong balls actually got the number one overall pick. So it's not like it's even helping all the time, right?
Right.
And so maybe we can play this, guys.
Can we still close on time?
Got an ad on there. All right, here we go.
Will it clear on schedule?
Yeah.
But that's basically the premise behind what Chuck was saying. And as crazy as he seems sometimes, once in a while come out with something crazy like this, and it's a great idea. I think it would stop these teams. But like Adam Silver, man, now's the time to get a hold on your league because you're going to lose it.
The elephant in the room is this tanking situation we got going on in the NBA. You see what they're doing in Utah. You see what they're doing in D.C. Now you got the Mavs sort of tanking. I've always believed, first of all, tanking has always been part of the NBA. Let's get that out the way.
Sports.
It's sports. I agree with you, Kenny. We've got to come up with some type of solution because it's not fair to the game, first and foremost. It's not fair to your fan base. I've always suggested this rule. I don't think any NBA team should be able to raise their ticket prices if they're below 500. I've always said that. You cannot raise your ticket prices if your team is below 500. I think they should make that a rule in every sport, to be honest with you.
That'd be interesting, Schuster. That'd be some incentive.
It'd be, but no, not even if you're still trying to tank, you can't raise your ticket prices because then you're getting your cake and eat it too. Which I'm for getting your cake and eat it too.
Yes.
But you should not be able to try to lose. So I've said there's two things. Number one, every team in the lottery should get one ping pong ball. They shouldn't give you more balls.
So everybody, yes. And that came out the other day too. Hey, maybe we're thinking about everybody's on the same level playing field.
Because the team that had the worst record, I think, has only got the number one pick like 2 out of 25 years. So give everybody one ping pong ball.
If you don't make the playoffs.
If you don't make the playoffs. But also, this is another one. If you trade a pick, it's gone. Because now teams are they can manipulate. Well, if it falls in the top 3 or 4 or top 7 protected. No.
Love it.
So there you go. That's another way where you with the draft picks too. Like there's teams that make these trades, and then it only if you fall into the top 3 does the trade even go. And it sucks. It kind of diminishes the importance of the trade value. We've seen now in like Europe and all the soccer leagues, they do something really. Honestly, I'm for it. It's relegating.
Yeah.
You familiar with relegating?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anybody at home who's not aware, if you're in these Premier Leagues or one of these La Liga teams overseas, if your team finishes last, they drop to League B, and the top team in League B jumps up to League A, and suddenly you're not making. You're not even in the same ballpark with the money that you're making playing from League A to League B, and we got to do something to keep these guys honest, especially as they get deeper and deeper in bed with these sports betting too. So we got to figure something out, because the NBA right now, they may seem untouchable, like there's no ramifications to this, but once you start to have people question the validity of your product, if you're a sports league, you get into dangerous WWE type territory, and it's there's going to be repercussions at some point.